What medium should you use to check in with clients on a regular basis? Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at the Pearl Lemon Group. We're a business growth and development agency based in the UK, USA, as well as serving clients worldwide. And here today, in day number 74, we're going to talk about client check-ins and exactly on which medium/platform you should use to basically connect with them. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to 7 additional strategies we won't be sharing in this training. And please do comment, like, as well as subscribe if you've been enjoying this video series so far. So look, fundamentally, the common challenge that I see happen with client relationship management is that people just rely upon one medium, and that's wrong. And you should certainly rely upon a medium from the regular checking perspective, but when it comes to ultimately checking in if a client goes radio silent, you should use multiple mediums. So what that means basically is if, for example, you're always talking to your client on email, then fundamentally that's fantastic. If the client, however, takes longer than ordinary to respond, you should switch medium immediately. Basically, even if it ends up annoying your client, even if they're just away, it shows diligence, it shows care, and it demonstrates that you are really being proactive. So I've seen it I've seen it happen with us sometimes where someone will email, but a client will not necessarily respond to that email and miss it, and then we just follow up with another email. Whereas it might be much, much quicker if you just call that client because something's come up, they've got a particularly busy season with work or their family life, so calling them might be better. And you definitely don't want to just leave it to a medium, do not hear from a client, and therefore just wait to follow up at the next scheduled check-in. The problem with that is that you need to keep the finger on the pulse of the client, the mood of the client. How's the client feeling generally about the campaign? How are they in general? And you lose the opportunity to just check in, small talk, find out how they're doing, find out how their life is, and just really engage with them on that basis. So I definitely would always advocate that if you're using email, then continue using email. But if the client goes quiet, then call them, drop them on WhatsApp, send them a text. Send them a text saying, hey Frank, just sent you an email. Not sure if you caught it, or I sent you an email a couple of days back. Maybe you're busy, just wanted to drop a note in case you missed it. Something to that effect is perfectly fine. So you could email, then you could text, then you could call, and that might be, a sequence that you can determine. Depending upon the urgency of what's needed, that will inform ultimately the approach that you use. So if it's just a general update of, let's say, little consequence, depending upon what the nature of the communication is for, and in this case it's just to check in, then you might just follow up with, for example, there's some emails, or there's some times when you cannot worry if a client hasn't replied, but when it's been longer than usual, and or you need to check in to understand how the client is feeling, and or their response doesn't really reveal much, like an okay, thanks, cheers, it's worth switching mediums to just find out what in the hay is going on. So there's going to be various scenarios where it feels like more information is needed, and even when you don't feel like more information is needed, it's always powerful intermittently to switch the medium, because if you're always emailing a client as a form of a regular check-in, still drop them a WhatsApp once every month. Just schedule a alternate platform check-in when it comes to fundamentally checking in. But remember, you can only escalate, you cannot de-escalate. So if you're calling for check-ins and then you do an email as a regular check-in, that is an inferior type of check-in broadly, because you're losing the personal touch, you're losing the care, you're losing the ability to engage in real time. However, if you email regularly, then it's completely cool to every now and again just give them a call to say, we've not spoken in a while, just thought I'd say hello to see how you're doing, what are you up to at the moment, how's your day going. So something like that is a really nice welcome from a client, as well as then, of course, talking to them about their campaign, how things are going, and just any thoughts and ideas that they've got. So you can definitely stick to one medium if that's the preferred medium of the client. That's number one. Number two, you can have regular, or you can have semi-regular or occasional check-ins where you switch the medium as long as you escalate, because it's nice to add a little bit of variety now and again. And then number three, if a client isn't responding, try a different medium. Depending upon the urgency of what you need, it will dictate how aggressively you try and chase a client. So, for example, if their website is down and that's a huge problem, then email them, text them, call them, WhatsApp them, and do so probably depending upon the nature of the site and how much traffic they get and what it means for their business, that could dictate the urgency with which you chase them. So there's different scenarios within which you would determine the frequency of the chase, the urgency of the chase, and the medium of the chase. So I hope that this helps, guys, but they are some insights on which mediums you should use to check in with clients on a regular basis, but adding a little bit of variety and just ensuring the check-in is regular is the most important thing to do, because regardless of the medium that you use, if you're only checking in once a month and you're not doing, for example, a Friday follow-up with all clients, that's going to be a bigger problem than any medium that you pick. So there you have it, guys. Please do subscribe if you enjoy these videos, and drop your comments with your thoughts below.